We've established that a few free hours experiencing local culture and seeing sights doesn't qualify as pleasure, at least not for me. But there's a reason that we're doing just that here in Intramuros, the historic centre of Manila. Amongst its cobblestone streets and its colonial-era churches, I'm here to meet our guide. He happens to be the Tourism Secretary, Ramon Jimenez.
People literally have a problem telling a difference between business and leisure in the Philippines. It's almost like we work precisely because we enjoy doing it.
That sounds like a marketing campaign, and it is.
More fun in the Philippines.
More fun in the Philippines. That's rather risky, I dare to say, sir. Frisky.
You know, you have to know the Philippines and the Filipino to think of that as being risky. There is very little risk in that because it is people. Anywhere you go, people bridge the gap between this thing everyone describes as infrastructure and actually having fun.
Fun doesn't necessarily translate into more visitors and profits. The international tourist numbers here are quite small. Less than 5 million people arrive each year. It lags behind neighbours such as Indonesia and Thailand. You, sir, use the I word. Infrastructure, airports, roads. That's your biggest problem.
Well, obviously we've got to expand capacity, that's for sure. All of that's been addressed. It's just that it takes a little time for cement to dry. The infrastructure, as you know, is a temporary problem. If you've got the wrong hosts, that's a permanent one.
Here again. The secretary takes the pleasure concept quite literally, proving his point on hospitality, dispensing with formal interviews, and taking me for a ride, literally, around Fort Santiago. When you travel, do you tack on any leisure, or is it all business?
No, as much as possible. One of the advantages of being tourism secretary is people automatically assume that I've got to stick in something a tourist would go through.
You've been practicing on this, haven't you?
Yes, I have. It's my job to practice. In 1944, a Sherman tank came across this very same moat and rammed through this gate.
This history lesson gives focus to the whole visit. And now I need a recommendation on where to go to play when the work is truly done.
Manpulo may be a little too quiet. You'd be a disruption there.
I haven't the foggiest idea what he's talking about. I'm only following my host's lead. Once round and that's it. Ha ha! I don't have a lot of time, just half a day. I need to be smart about where to go and how I get there. And why not make getting there part of the experience?
We're going to Puerto Galera, small port on Mindoro Island, and we get there and we're landing in the harbor.
My captain is Canadian Jean Goulet, the director of seaplane operations for Air Juan. This small charter airline building its business on the back of a growing leisure market.
Right now we're doing about 2-3 times a week.
Are they tourists? Are they business travelers? Who's doing this journey most?
Right now, the tourists haven't found us yet. It's mostly the business travelers.
Air Juan wants to change all that. It's introduced scheduled services linking remote islands. On some routes, avoiding airports altogether. And for this visit, what could have been a 6-hour ordeal by road and ferry is a half-hour pleasure trip with glimpses of volcanic lakes en route.
It's an island inside of a lake. It's inside of an island, inside of a lake, inside of an island. I got that right.
It's not pleasure without a beach. How do you really want to get away? Just 30 minutes flying from Manila. It may not be that great a distance, but already I'm starting to feel that I'm seeing a little bit more of the real Philippines. With just a couple of hours to spare, time is of the essence. So now, seaplane is replaced by a boat, and I go in search of a private stretch of sand. It's a weird experience. 48 hours ago, I'm in New York, and now I'm on a boat in the Philippines. Soaking in every second. That beach, it's got my name on it. I've had to travel by sea and by air. It's all part of pleasure. I think I've finally found my own ideal experience away from it all.